The Rose Bowl is set. The 2026 Rose Bowl will be between the Alabama Crimson Tide, who just beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Got to give them that. Them going to Norman and winning this game. They were looking tired at the end of their season. They're energized a little bit now. It was still an SEC clash. Two great teams literally clashed up against each other. They had to forego having much of a run game because, well, this Alabama team doesn't know how to run. But they beat the Sooners. They're going up against the number one team in the nation in Indiana. A team that now has the Heisman winning quarterback. Got that right. So their QB1 got a Heisman. They're undefeated. They're number one in the nation. 13-0. Beat Ohio State. Beat Oregon. In other words, this is a clash between old blood, old dynasty versus new blood. Kurt Signetti and Kalen DeBoer are opposites in how they do football coaching. Kurt Signetti looked at an Indiana team that had been basically a punchline of the Big Ten for decades, rarely winning anything. And when I can turn that into a 10-win season easily, and took them to the first college football playoff. Okay, they lost in the first round, but still. Second season, he takes Indiana to the number one spot in the nation. They get to skip the first round. They don't have to face a team like Notre Dame at Notre Dame. No. This year, they're the number one team in the nation. They get to skip the first game, the first round. Oh. And they have to deal with the Rose Bowl only. Alabama, on the other hand, storied program. We all know this. Bear Bryant, Nick Saban, two of the greats when it comes to college football. Kalen DeBoer left a winning program to go to a storied program. Now, Washington, the Huskies are not a afterthought, but they're not Alabama. They're not the Crimson Tide. And let me tell you something. In the South, even when you're a fan of other Southern schools, people talk about the Crimson Tide either in a hateful tone or like that they're the gods of college football. And that's what Kalen DeBoer's come into. But instead of worrying about the run game, which Alabama has been known for its entire history, no, he's turned it into something else. Yes, they do some running, but they don't have to. We're going to take a look at this game by the numbers, as we always do. If you've been to this channel before, you know what I do. If you haven't, hey folks, I go by the numbers. I don't go by anything else. I go by the numbers, and that's how I decide who is going to win the game. So, let's get into it. Before we get into the crux of this video, hit like, hit subscribe if you like college sports, because I do college sports, primarily college football, college women's gymnastics, do a little basketball, and other sports on occasion, but that's what I do, college. Also, General Robert Neyland, former University of Tennessee head football coach for decades, had 7 maxims to win any game, but they can also help you if you apply them correctly to your life. The second one is play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That is a maxim that can be also applied to your life. Look for those breaks and take it. Now, since Alabama is considered the lesser of the two teams, we're going to go into them first. Ty Simpson, 275 before 28, 3,268 yards through the air. So 64.3% completion rate. Not bad. 26 touchdowns through the air, 5 interceptions, been sacked 25 times. little over 2 times a game, but I mean, you're looking at, 14 games, so okay. Or a little under 2 times a game. Overall, their quarterbacks have thrown for 30 touchdowns this year, had 5 interceptions, 26 sacks. Now, leading rushers, Jam Miller, 123 carries, but only 493 yards. 3 touchdowns. Daniel Hill, 61 carries, 228 yards, 5 touchdowns. Kevin Riley, 56 for 222, 2 touchdowns. A.K. Deer, 19 for 140. 56-yard long run there, so he's got explosiveness. 3 touchdowns. Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, 17 for 101, 2 touchdowns. Ty Simpson, 81 for 98, 2 touchdowns. Richard Young's got 2 touchdowns. Got another guy's got one. 20 touchdowns on the ground. Not a normal SEC or Alabama team. Through the air, Jeremy Bernard's got 57 catches, 762 yards, 7 touchdowns. Ryan Williams, 42 for 631, 75-yard long run, 4 touchdowns. Isaiah Horton, 35 for 430, got 8 touchdowns. Got Josh Cuevas, 30 for 341, 4 touchdowns. Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, Caleb Edwards each have one. Rico Scott's got 2. Cole Adams got 1. MJ Churgwin's got 1. They got 30 on in the air. They're not that explosive very often. And by the way, they also don't, for what an SEC team does, okay, they've scored, but got 25 sacks on opposing quarterbacks. They're not getting to opposing quarterbacks near as much as most other teams. 41 pass deflections, 10 interceptions. They've scored on 2 of those. They got 15 forced fumbles, 9 fumble recoveries. That's good numbers right there. Now, Justin Jefferson's leading tackler, 67 tackles, 2 sacks, 5 pass deflections, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Deontay Lawson, 66 tackles, 3 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries. Bray Hubbard, now listen to this one, 61 tackles, 1 sack, 8 pass deflections, 4 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles. That man's doing some work. And Nakai Hill-Green's got 45 tackles, 3 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. Now, if you don't know a lot about Alabama football, since most of their games are in conference, and they don't get a lot of penalties, so I'm not going to cover that because it's a joke. When it comes to Alabama, if it's a penalty that's going to hurt them, it's going to be ignored. So you're looking at their defense is not bad. I mean, it's a solid defense, just it's not. That's about all it is, a solid defense. They have decent numbers when they on forced fumbles and fumble recoveries. They got a few guys that can do some breakout plays on the offense. I mean, Ty Simpson's a good quarterback. He's better than a lot. Jam Miller, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, Josh Cuevas. I mean, you've got some really good players on the offense. It's a solid, somewhat balanced, not really offense that can switch to only passing, and they're okay at running. Now, Indiana, Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, 226 at 316, 71.5 completion rate. Think about that for a minute. 71.5 completion rate. That's one of the higher totals in this nation. 2,980 yards through the air, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, been sacked 18 times. Not bad numbers right there. They got 38 touchdowns through the air. They got 7 interceptions total and 18 sacks. That's good numbers. That's good numbers. Now, on the rushing side, Roman Hemby, 176 carries, 918 yards, got an 82-yard long run, 6 touchdowns. Kalen Black, 142 for 799, 7 touchdowns. Kobe Martin, 70 for 452, 6 touchdowns. Fernando Mendoza, 69 for 240, 6 touchdowns. Got a few other guys got a touchdown each, 29 touchdowns on the ground, so they can run. You've already heard they got 38 touchdowns through the air. Omar Cooper, 58 catches, 804 yards, 58-yard long run, 11 touchdowns. Elijah Surratt, 51 for 687, got 12 touchdowns. Charlie Becker, 26 for 515, 53-yard long run, 2 touchdowns. CJ Williams, 34 for 416, 62-yard long run, 5 touchdowns. Riley Nowakowski, 25 for 316, 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Brady, 14 for 115, 3 touchdowns. Devin Chandler, 1 for 65, got a touchdown. Holden States has got 2 touchdowns. They got 38. This is an explosive team on offense. Now, let's look at their defense. 39 sacks. Think about that for a second. Okay, maybe they played lesser competition, or maybe not, because look at who they've beaten. They beat Oregon at Oregon. They beat Ohio State. 39 sacks on opposing quarterbacks. 36 pass deflections, 17 interceptions. Only scored on one, though. Slightly worse at the stripping the ball. 9 forced fumbles, 8 fumble recoveries. Elijah Hardy's got 87 tackles, 8 sacks, 4 pass deflections. Lewis Moore, 76 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 6 interceptions. Aiden Fisher, 75 for 2.5 sacks, with 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, scored on one of them, and 1 fumble recovery. Isaiah Jones, 66 tackles, 7 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. In other words, these guys do a lot of work. Penalty-wise, you're looking at 49 for 370, 28 yards a game. Very disciplined unless the Big Ten. Now, I haven't heard Big Ten folks talking about they're having a problem with their refs. Maybe they don't talk about it, or maybe it's not happening. But you got a Heisman winning quarterback that is pretty darn accurate. You've got the ability to do explosive plays. You got a defense that likes getting to the opposing quarterback. They don't strip the ball as much, but they can block your. They're pretty good at taking out your pass game. In other words, the very strength that they've got, they're going against. Pardon me, the very strength of Alabama. Hey, this team's able to handle that. And they're able to score at will. This is a very, very dangerous Hoosiers team. So I'm studying this game. I'm looking at the fact that Alabama's been beat all to crap. They slowed down at the end of the year. Okay, maybe they're going to pull an Ohio State. But I'm also looking at that Indiana has been doing nothing but dominating both sides of the ball. They've taken down teams like Ohio State and Oregon. They aren't playing powder puff teams. Okay, a few of the teams, you take a look at. They beat Old Dominion, but Old Dominion's not a powder puff team. Okay, Kennesaw State, they're a conference champion. They beat Illinois very soundly, beat Iowa decently. Oregon was a decent game. Michigan State. Okay, we're not going to get into UCLA. We're not going to get into Penn State. But Ohio State, okay. Purdue, that was a convincing win. Now they're facing Alabama. Now, I will say this much. I think Alabama's faced more tough competition than Indiana has. But they also have lost to Florida State. Hey, the Oklahoma game was a tough one. But it was at home. But they beat Bandy, Mizzou, Tennessee. They even beat Georgia the first time around. This is going to be an interesting game. It really is. But you want to know what? I'm looking at all this. The Hoosiers are dominant both sides of the ball. Alabama, you shut down their run game, not that big of a deal, but you shut down their pass game, yeah, and Indiana can do that. They can get to opposing quarterbacks, and you look at this, and Ty Simpson has been sacked 29 times this year. I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, this is going to be a Hoosiers game. Plus, the whole Cinderella effect of they've never had this before, and Kurt Signetti has done amazing things. I like Kalen DeBoer to a point. It's Alabama, they're the favorites of the SEC, the favorites of ESPN, but it's Indiana right now. Kurt Signetti, he's not playing games, and you know what? Alabama's going to be facing the toughest team in the nation. I honestly think that while this might be a pretty good game, Indiana's looking to get its own, and Alabama's standing in their way. It's the Rose Bowl, Big Ten, going to the Rose Bowl. But you know what? Indiana's got this game. I really do believe so. Yeah, I'm a Tennessee redneck. Yes, on occasion I do root for Alabama. But I can't root for them in this game. By no means can I root for them in this game. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Hey, that's my video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And comment. Don't forget that either. Hey, this has been Paul with
Artlist.io.
Redneck Thinker Media. I do sports, I do politics. Hit like, subscribe. And y'all, this has been Paul. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.